Yo, what's up, bro?
What is going on? How you doing?
I'm doing good things, and yourself?
I'm doing well, doing well. Great to be on here with you, my brother.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, my brother. Right back at you. I love the love. How's that? I love the love. You know,
Always.
Kevin Holness, aka Mighty Mystic. Welcome to the show. Yeah.
Oh, man, ready.
We just have to, mention how fast time is actually going. You know, like I was anticipating this chat with you, and boom, here it is, 5th November 2025. And I'm asking myself, sure, where does time go? You know,
Time is not waiting, brother. It's just going.
yeah, man. But once again, Kevin, Mighty Mystic, thank you for coming on the show. I've been reflecting on 2025, which I mean, we all do, heading towards the end of the year. We look at what we've done, what we have accomplished, have we made progress from the previous year? And then I look at the show and I pin the musical component of the show. And this chat that we are having right now is honestly the highlight for me of 2025. Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. I am honored.
Much love on that,
Yeah.
brother.
So, where are you coming to us from? Boston, correct?
Right now I'm in Boston. We just got off the road. We were on a 150 city tour, and we just finished
Wow.
up on Sunday. So we're off the last day and 2 days.
And you still got so much energy. I can see it. It's there.
It's not- we keep the vibes bubbling always.
Yeah, I love the positive vibes,
Yes,
but
sir.
I'm sure it must get tiring. I mean,
It
touring
does.
is not, yeah,
It's not easy because you get very little sleep. You're one city today, and then tomorrow you're somewhere else. You got to drive 15 hours the next day, and then you radio in the morning, a TV in the evening, a show at night. You keep going for 30 plus days in a row. So it gets tiring, but you have to love it. You love it because you're
yeah,
bringing positive energy, positive vibes to the people, and the people want to hear good music. They want to be uplifted, and that's what we're doing.
yeah. I mean, that sums up reggae music, upliftment, empowerment, love,
Yes, sir.
that's it. So, when did the tour start?
The tour started from early in the year. We had I believe it was January 25th. The tour started, and it just
Right.
finished on Sunday. So all year
Just
long, and we just actually picked up a few more dates. We're gonna announce a few more dates in the coming weeks.
nice, man, nice. It's so refreshing, to check to an artist and, they still got so much love for what they do.
For
you
sure.
know, and we're doing it for the right reasons,
Right.
for the love of music, for the love of reggae, whichever genre you may be committed to, but you're doing it for the love of it, for the love
Right.
of the fans,
That's a
not
great
just for the money
statement.
and the fame.
Yes, sir. That's a great statement because I feel like if you stop loving it, you probably shouldn't do it anymore. You know, you
Yeah.
probably shouldn't do it. So do it, like you said, for the right reasons, for the love of it, to help to
For the
spread.
love.
Yes, for
Yeah.
sure.
I had a guest last night, or yesterday, your time, and he's a psychologist, but dedicated to the sports community. He deals with athletes. They are like majority of his clients with his practice. And he mentioned how organized, monetized, and political sports has come. And then I look at music, it's the same thing, you
For
know.
sure. For sure.
It's the same thing. People are just doing it for the wrong reasons. They just want to monetize it, and that's it. Once you build a household brand like yourself, it just becomes about the money. We no longer care about the content that we're actually pushing
Right.
out there, but because of the name that we already have, of course, our fans, our community are going to stay loyal to us and going to purchase our CD stream, our music, our vinyl, our merchandise. Come and check us live, and it's sad for me. It's sad.
Yeah, it's sad, and that's people doing it for the wrong reasons, and we're not gonna grow and get better as a culture if that's what's happening across the board. So I would love for that element of it to be cleaned up because I love going out there. Not only do I love performing for the fans, but I actually love meeting all the fans, hearing the stories, engaging with the audience and the fan base, and just knowing and hearing and seeing where people come from, their walks of life, how they got there. And I share that same kind of energy with them as well. The right reasons, man.
Yeah, right reasons, 100%. Well, big ups to you, man.
Yes, sir.
Big ups to you. This wasn't how I was planning to start the show, but I mean, I love to keep it spontaneous. Um, Kevin, you were born in Jamaica. You relocated to the US. You built a household brand for yourself worldwide. You've become a reggae powerhouse. You know, when we talk about reggae music, it's always carried a message of truth. And with your music, it uplifts, it unites, and it heals people. You know, I listened to your music, but we'll touch on that, a bit later on. But where I would love to start is let's, just pause on Mighty Mystic, for a minute. Let's talk about Kevin. What's your story? Where did it all start for you?
Well, I'm from this area in Jamaica known as Goshen, which is located in Saint Elizabeth. Um, I'm sure you've heard that Jamaica just gone through a horrible hurricane, Hurricane Melissa. Hurricane Melissa came to Jamaica and it sat right in Saint Elizabeth, on top of Saint Elizabeth, Westmoreland area, where I'm from. Did a lot of devastation. Just trying to give you a little idea of where I'm located in Jamaica. It's a very small farming community. So yes, I'm from there, and it started with me as a little kid. I remember the first time I actually heard Bob Marley's music. I was probably 5, 6 years old, growing up on the farm. And I remember hearing his music come on the radio. And I went to my dad and I said, what is this? What is this? And he explained to me, I was a kid, and he explained to me who Marley was. And I'm kidding you not, from that moment, 5, 6 years old, I knew I wanted to go into reggae music. I knew I wanted to deliver that type of thing into society, and I've been on the path ever since.
Wow. I mean, who doesn't know Bob Marley, right?
Right.
And now I'm reminiscing here, you know, like growing up for me, I wasn't looking for Bob Marley. Bob Marley found me.
Yes.
He found me because I mean, it's hard for me to think like, where did I first hear Bob Marley? You
Yeah.
know, and then I think to myself, was it me chilling with my homies smoking some weed and Bob Marley came on and like, I shot the sheriff. Was it that? I don't know, but he found me and his music was so revolutionary. I mean, I even see, like, I got this.
Let's go. Yes, sir.
He,
Yes.
so, I mean, once again, he found me. Like I wasn't looking for the poster. I came across the poster. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
It's to you.
like he spoke to me exactly, and that's the thing about his music is like, and it's the universe, so me being like a spiritual person, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I was going through something, when I was young, and boom, here comes Bob Marley. And I mean, I wasn't really into Spotify and Apple Music at the time, but those days it was like, the homies sending around USBs and CDs with MP3s on it, and you're like, okay, who's Bob Marley? And you play Bob Marley, and then come across No Woman No Cry. Yeah.
It, it takes you to another level. It opens you up to a whole new way of thinking, a whole new universe that you didn't even know existed through music, through the healing, through what Marley was saying. He did the same exact thing to me.
Yeah. So, you're 5 years old, you come across Bob Marley, you decide to yourself, okay, reggae music is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And look, I mean, you actually stuck with that goal,
Right.
where most people don't. You stuck with that goal. So, was it like from that moment onwards, like just 100% music, or were there delays along the way? As people say, life happens.
Yeah, life is happening. So I relocated from Jamaica roughly when I was like 9 years old. I moved to Boston. And at the time when I moved to Boston, hip hop was just bubbling. It was bubbling, early 90s. Hip hop was just bubbling, bubbling, bubbling. So I kind of fell into the local hip hop rap scene, the dancing, break dancing scene at the time. And it kind of started to work from there. I was doing like the school concerts. So every school event, I would be performing at the school events. Then it turned to me performing at the park events. And then I kind of got a flow for it. Put a little band together when I was in high school. I was doing rock and roll as well. Reggae with the rock and roll back as a kid, you know. Growing up in Boston, you had to kind of be in rock and roll because the big rock area. So yeah, while I was in high school, I really, really got the bug and I put a little band together. We started to do local shows. And then one day I heard one of our songs on the radio, like the local radio station. I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
something is going on here. Something's going on. What's going on? Decided to take a deeper dive into it and realize that we were developing this like diehard fan base, locally diehard fan base of people would travel to come see us, and we're doing all the small shows and all that. And from then, I really got the vision that this can work. How do we do it? Put the things in order to make it work. And I kid you not, from I was in high school, we decided to treat it like organized. We put it together, we travel, got a van, packed the van up, started to go from different communities, putting on little small shows, and it just started to work and started to work. And all these years later, it's, taken on a different life.
So at that time in Boston, the response to your music was good, from what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Response was good. It was a culture. You were building something, that was
Yes.
long lasting.
Yes.
In that era.
Yeah, exactly. Some foundational things, foundational things that we can stand on and grow. So yeah, earlier on, we had a good early start when I was in like high school.
Yeah. And I'm sure that was still the era of like your CDs.
Oh yes.
Streaming wasn't a thing.
It was CDs all the way. We still even had tapes, cassette tapes.
Wow.
I'm going back to like the late 90s now, 90s, CDs, cassette tapes, CDs were the biggest thing. And then, we came to Apple Music, all those kind of things, the digital versions, which kind of got rid of the actual owning an item, owning a CD, a DVD, a record, became real digital.
And when you compare the cassette CD era to the streaming era, is there a major difference for you?
I think there's a
major change.
Yeah, the biggest difference I see is in those days, people wanted to own an item, something intangible, something you can hold, a record. It felt like it was yours. You owned this item and you got it at the record shop. Because back in those days, your records were released on Fridays. Every Friday or every Tuesday, your favorite artist, their album was coming out. So you had to plan to get in a taxi or take a bus to go to the record shop and buy your favorite record, wait in a long line, bring it home, play it, have your friends come over, play it. So you kind of felt really special. The record felt like it was your child, like you owned it. You bragged about it. You put it on your wall, Nowadays, people stream music is different. You get it, you listen to it, you put it to the side. Next thing you listen, you put it to the side, Back in those days, you kind of owned it. You felt like you owned it.
Yeah, there's so much value in it. I mean, behind me here, I got like a whole lot of CDs, like artists from the 90s and 2000s. And I got it by walking into a local charity shop. One's man trash is another man's treasure, right? So I walk into the charity shop, and I go there quite often, and I find all these CDs, from back in the day. I'm like, why would someone give this away? And I buy it, and it's like super cheap, compared to what you would have paid for it, back then. And now it's here, and I'm never going to let it go. It means something to me. I mean, when you look at the value of, vinyls, right? Today, in this day and age, it's a lot of money, it's collectible items. So that's how I see CDs now. Now we're in the streaming era. So 10 years from now, 20 years from now, this is going to be gold behind me.
True.
That's my take on it.
Collector's items.
Yeah, one of the trends over the last few years was NFTs, on the blockchain, that became like a major thing for artists where you could own this collectible where you can't get it anywhere else and it's online. And that's how I see CDs as well in the future. You could turn this into an NFT. sell it for thousands of dollars one day, which I won't because, all of this means something to me.
Right.
But I mean, it's treasure for me.
Yeah, you can
Like you said,
remember. You remember where you bought it, the day you bought it. You remember how it made you feel and all that. So you want to keep these possessions that you've collected over the years.
Yeah, no, 100%. So when you started now recording, like, did you remain independent or did you get signed to a record label on a fancy 360 label deal?
I was signed to a label. Yeah, I was signed early, right out of school. I was signed to a label. I was signed to two labels back to back. I was signed to Jules Entertainment first. Then I was signed to Elektra Records, which is a major label. So I was signed to two different labels. Didn't really work out so well. I wasn't necessarily the label kind of a guy. I'm not the kind of person that likes people to tell me how my music should sound and what to do and this. Yeah. I'm a creative. I want to create my own brand. I want to create my thing and get it out how I want to do it. So the label thing didn't really sit with me well. So from 2007, I was been independent, no label, just us doing everything. We've kind of organized everything like a label. We move like a label independently without having a label to back us.
Just have a good team and good partners, a good network,
That's what it is. That's what I tell all the up and coming artists. If you organize, first it comes down to having a good music, good product, but having good team, a good agent, a good manager, a good publicist, good team will really push you forward. Everybody works together and then good things will come.
Yeah. I mean, the mistake, like I'm also a consultant, for independent artists here in South Africa. And, I've had so many clients over the years, they come in, the independent, you set them up to be independent, just like how you explained it now. If you really take that in and do something with it, that's how you're going to actually grow. But, 3 to 4 months down the line, I just see all these talented artists just giving up because, back to how this conversation actually started, they're chasing the wrong things.
Right.
They're chasing the wrong things. They're expecting to have $1 million in their bank account in 3 to 4 months. No, it's not the case.
That's not gonna happen.
It's not the case anymore.
No.
Because they really look at, how much they have to invest as an independent artist, and they do the investment, and some of them invest a lot of money, get going, get started. I mean, you should know, the recording fees, how much that could be like. But I mean, and then 2 to 3 months down the line, they don't see an ROI, and then boom, that's it. They give things up and they don't care anymore. And then they just gone back to a 9-to-5 job, and maybe they won't regret it now, because they're still young. But in a few years' time from now, they are.
Yeah, we get it.
My opinion on it.
Yeah.
The industry is just evolving.
It's evolving. And if you don't have a thick skin, they say a thick skin for this industry, you're going to quit very early. You're going to quit very early. You have to, not only do you have to have a good team, but you have to have a thick skin, and you have to be kind of just realize that it's a long haul. You got to play the long game. The long game is where you win. The short game doesn't work. The short game don't work. That's how people drop out of the industry. You got to play the long game, because within the long game, you learn how to navigate yourself. You might get a bump and bruise right here. You learn through that. You come through it. You keep going, and next thing you know, you're here where you need to be. So play the long game, kids. Long game always.
Yeah, and I mean, you have to build this autonomy. What's the word I'm looking for? Autonomy model, right? Because you can be an independent artist, and be your own independent label, and you don't necessarily have to. Let's just say, for example, you don't have a recording studio. What I've done is I built a relationship and a partnership with recording studios. So we will work together. We come across an artist and we want to work with this artist, we'll work together. I'll handle the business side of things, I'll get the beat done. And then I just need you as the studio now to do the vocal production for me. They'll be jumping in the studio, and there's no like upfront costs that I really have to pay them because we all going to have ownership of this product. So it's a win-win.
Yes. Yeah, man.
That's what I've done. That's what has worked for me.
That works for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many ways to get to the top of the mountain. But the biggest thing is you've got to just be willing to do the climb. You've got to be willing to do the climb and expect that you're gonna get bumps, you're gonna get bruises along the way, and you can't quit on the first time you get a bump. You just gotta strong up and keep working towards it. Build good relationships. One thing might not work, but then you figure the next situation out, and you just keep building on it, and good things will come. For me, I realized kind of early on that the business was going away from actual sales. So earlier on, I saw that people going to stop buying records and CDs and stuff. And it was going back to more touring, where you're traveling in your van from city to city, had to bring the music, had to bring the merch, had to bring the vibes to the people. So from early, we decided that we're going to be on the road and we're going to travel all the time. So touring has really built Mighty Mystic, my brand. That's what I would say is 100% responsible for our thing. It's been touring because it's allowed us to go all over the world and literally bring the music to the doorsteps of the fans. And touring is not easy. Touring is not easy. It's a tough way to live. But in my opinion, since the sales have moved downwards, touring is the way to go.
Yeah. And that's how you're building that intimate relationship with your fans, with your community, which is so important in 2025 onwards. That's what the fans want. They want that intimate relationship with the artists that they are following. So really important.
We're in such a social media world where you're on Instagram, you're on Twitter, you're on Facebook, you're on TikTok, you're on Snapchat, whatever you're on. The fan base that's on those platforms, they engage with you, they engage with me. They know you. There's a personal connection. So you have to now, you can't just stay home. You got to go out there to meet all the people that know you from those platforms. You got to really go out there and see so-and-so from here, so-and-so from there, and their network. And that's how you build it. Like you were saying, that face-to-face personal connection, it is so vital to the industry right now. You have to go out there, meet the audience.
Yeah. Independent artists listening to the show, please take this in.
Another thing too is we can add on it. It goes as deep as even like merch. Like merch is such a big thing for musicians now, for bands. I mean, everybody. Merch is a big thing. And what I've noticed is a lot of Caribbean artists, a lot of reggae artists don't really grasp that as yet, how important the merch situation is. But the artists that do grasp it, it has opened up a well of success, because not only does it help you financially stay on the road, your merch sells, and you put gas in your car for your merch or whatever, but it also gives you a platform to directly engage with your audience. Sometimes I go to my merch table, I'm there, and I don't even care about the actual merch. I'm just caring about my engagement with the audience, talking to the fans that are there, hugging people, hearing people's stories. And people will tell you, they're very open and honest. They'll tell you the struggles they're going through in your life and how your music got them through a struggle in their life. And those things are what keeps a guy like me going, hearing those stories. It puts the connection together.
Yeah. No, man, that is so important. Your music needs to help people.
For sure.
As a creative, you got that responsibility, any form of creative. That's my opinion on, you got a responsibility to humanity.
Right.
Because humanity looks at any form of art for inspiration, for motivation, whether he be a musician, whether he be an author. I mean, there's people who look at paintings,
Yes.
from painters back in the day, that motivates them.
Right.
If we ever want to self-educate ourselves, what do? We pick up a book. on a specific topic.
Yeah.
That author is a creator. So you are looking for inspiration from that creator. So that's the impact that you need to make in society.
Yes.
Let that be your reason, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, that's it, man. Do it for any reason.
Yeah. Before we get deeper into your music, so what I did different with this show here is I told people within my community that I'm going to be having a chat with you. And I selected a few people to send me questions that I can ask you. Now, as we move along, I'm going to bring up these questions, but I want to ask you one question that's possibly linked, to your early life. And, you can share your thoughts on that. So your brother Andrew is the Prime Minister of Jamaica. So this question is coming from a well-known political family, your brother being the Prime Minister of Jamaica. Did you ever feel torn between the worlds of politics and music, or did reggae always feel like a true calling? Okay, so we know it's a true calling, but was there ever a split on which way should I go?
Great question. Yes. So as we all know, politics in the Caribbean has got a little stigma to it from the beginning. So yes, I navigated being a reggae artist, and how would I be perceived to have my brother being the prime minister? That's a tough situation to be in, especially considering coming from Jamaican politics. You know how that is. But I'm a guy that stands on conviction. And I know where my heart is, and my heart is to help the people. And I know, coming from my family, how my family is. We're very spiritual people, as is my brother, the prime minister, a very spiritual guy who wants to help his people. He believes deeply. He's a guy that prays every day, just like I do. And he brings that element into his political lifestyle, and I bring that into my musical lifestyle. At the end of the day, us two different people come together here for the same reasons. We want to help our people. He's helping politically, I'm helping through music to bring healing and unification through the music. So yes, there's always that thoughts in your mind. But for me, I was strong in my decision. I knew I wanted to do reggae, and I knew we could do both things simultaneously without them hurting each other. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah. No, it does. I got to, ask and this happens a lot, especially if parents are dealing with their children who are talented, and want to be involved in music or writing or painting. And it's seen by parents, as, oh no, that's a waste of time. You need to, in your situation, be like a brother, look at what he's doing, or be a doctor, that's a steady career. Did that ever happen to you?
There was whispers. There's always whispers. There was whispers. Yet, I I always believed. I think one of the things is you've got to believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself, you can achieve some great things in life. No matter what it is, you achieve some great things. It comes from self-belief. So I put the naysayers and the negativity, even if it came from family. I just said I would listen, I would hear the chatter, but I would immediately close the door. Because people will say what they're gonna say. Within what people are saying, they always mean well. So I understand they mean well. They want you to have a good life and not struggle.
Yeah.
But I was always ready for the struggle, ready for what it would bring. The hard road. I understood that from young, and I was willing to take those bumps and bruises that we kind of talked about a few minutes ago. I was willing for it, and I was not deterred. I have not been deterred. I just put my head down and just keep trotting forward. So self-belief. People out there listening and watching, self-belief. Believe in yourself, partner.
That's it. Believe in yourself.
Yes.
Believe in yourself and just work through all the noise.
Yes. Because you're gonna get beat up. You're gonna get bumps. You're gonna get bruises in anything you're doing in life. So just believe.
Yeah.
You're gonna get it.
And what I admire about you is you have truly broken through all the noise in reggae music without carrying the Marley name. You've made it in the scene. that's a wow, right? I know you shared the stage with Damian Marley and Julian Marley. So how does it make you feel? Like, what's your relationship like with the Marleys when you look at yourself and be like, wow, I actually made it. I'm a reggae star and I don't carry the Marley name, but look at me. I'm shining.
Well, those guys, all the Marley family, have been great, 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 great people in my career. I've learned a lot from all of them, from their dad right down to the youngest child being Damian Marley. I've learned so much from the whole family, and they're very encouraging. And they put a great. They've set the bar so high. The bar is so high that you just know, you can't come small. You got to come big. You got to put some work in to get to where they are. So them setting the bar so high has gotten guys like me motivated to not rest, to just keep going, to keep pushing, to learn, take those bumps, keep building on it, and hope for good things. And if it doesn't come, don't be deterred. Just keep going. So they've been a great catalyst for my growth as an artist. So big props to the Marleys, to all of them. They've been wonderful people to the reggae community.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. I mean, you know, this, it's like everyone is just being so humble, in the
Yeah.
music scene, or the reggae scene. When you compare it to how it would be in the hip hop or rap scene,
It's different.
everyone is just so humble with each other. Everyone is supporting each other. And that's awesome,
That's
and that's
awesome.
what we need more, in this world.
Yes. I think that's a reflection of Jamaica as a whole. Jamaica is such a there's a the motto of Jamaica is out of many one people. Out of many one people. That's the one love thing that Jamaica has, is that we 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 think of ourselves as just one people. We just stay united, and we keep a very strong mind that we want to help everybody. We want to help everybody out. Help yourself, help everybody out. That's that one love, one determination thing that Jamaica has. It was a great place for me to grow up and really learn those things as a kid, and to be able to take with me as an adult now. The one love out of many things. So big props to Jamaica.
Yeah. And I mean, that we can say is something that has stuck, since back then. Like,
For
I
sure.
mean, that unity and the love for one another. It's always been there. It's never changed.
Never change. No.
Yeah. When we look at all the conflict in the world today, Jamaica can actually be like, a country to look at and be like, yo, look how they are with each other. So why
Right.
are we like creating civil war amongst each other in our own country?
Yeah. It's true. It's true, man. It's true. Jamaica's a great beacon of light and hope for the rest of the world. So, like you said, man, check out Jamaica, everybody. It's a wonderful place. Going through a very difficult time with Hurricane Melissa right now. So
Yeah.
we're always sending prayers to Jamaica. A lot going on. A lot of boots are on the ground helping out Jamaica try to get through this hurricane. Total devastation. My prayers are with Jamaica. We're going down here next week to help out as best as we can, while we're talking about it right now.
Nice, man. I mean, you building an extraordinary life. I gotta say that.
Much
Just
love.
being there for the people. Like, wow. Let's talk about your album, Walk Tall. So what's the message behind this album?
So walk tall just really means whatever you're going through in your life, whatever struggles that might be on your shoulder, don't hang your head down. Don't hang your head down. Keep yourself tall. Walk tall. Keep your head up high. Believe in yourself. Put on a strong smile for the people out there, because I've learned that once you give forth positive energy, you're going to get it back. So even if you're struggling on the inside, right? You're struggling on the inside. If you just show that you're feeling good, you're happy, you're uplifted, you're smiling, you're walking tall, that energy, the universe has a way of blessing you, of giving you back that energy. It really does. It gives you back the positive energy. So that's the title of the album, is Walk Tall. Walk tall through all adversities, because you feel uplifted, good things will come. So that's the backbone, the essence of why we named the album Walk Tall.
And being on tour, is that now promoting Walk Tall, or are you promoting as well, all the other albums, all your other music?
Yeah, so I'm always promoting I have 5 albums. I'm always promoting albums, but specifically we did about 8 songs from this Walk Tall. Walk Tall, I believe, has 13 or 14 songs on the album. We've been performing roughly 8 of those new songs just to get those songs in rotation into the ears and minds of the audience. So that's generally how you do it. You perform a bulk of the new music and you sprinkle in elements from old albums, because the audience always gonna say, "Hey, Mystic, how come you didn't perform this song? And how come you didn't perform that song? This is
Yeah,
my
yeah,
favorite." So you got to mix up the old ones with the new as well.
yeah. That's nostalgia.
Yes,
People want to listen, to one of their favorite old songs from their
yes,
favorite artist because it just takes them back, to
yes,
a good
yes,
moment
yes.
experience in their life, and they can relive that with you,
Right,
at your
right.
show. And that's what
Exactly.
they want. That's what
And
they
if you
want.
and if you don't perform that song, everybody mad. Why not?
He's patiently waiting one of the 8 songs.
Yes, sir. He's waiting. No one can make you go. All right.
Oh, there we go. There we go. That's my favorite, by the way.
You
That's
know,
why I had to ask.
respect, respect.
And
I actually
winning.
That's also
So
one of the big songs on our tours. So every night we have to perform "Patiently Waiting," and that goes over. Wow, the audience just going crazy because it's such a big tune, heavy tune. Drum and bass is big.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, with reggae music, right? And correct me if I'm wrong. You are the performer. Like, you want to keep it like 100% natural and organic. Like, you want to be like on the microphone. There is no lip syncing going on here.
Oh, right.
You know.
Yes.
So, how do you take care of your vocals? By the way, as a by the way question.
Great question. Great question. Um, the biggest thing for me, sleep. People out there, people out there listening, your voice is not a guitar, it's not a drum, it's your vocal cord. The biggest problem with the voice goes is the lack of sleep. So I try to make sure I sleep at least 4 hours a night. I know it's not much, but I
Yeah.
gotta get 4 to 5 hours sleep every night. Otherwise, the voice goes. So that's something we do. I very On tour. We have a rule for me on tour. I tell people I don't drink on tour. I smoke very little bit on tour, and I try to get 4 to 5 hours of sleep because we're doing close to 150 shows a year. And to do 150 shows a year, you have to picture that, you know, 25% on top of that is actual traveling. You're traveling from city to city. So you're not sleeping. You have to do a TV interview, a radio interview. You got to go here, you got to go there. So you get really tired, really beat up. So within all that you're doing, try to add sleep. So for me, a little 4 hours sleep every day, minimal drinking, minimal smoking to preserve the voice box. That is the key. Tea
Yeah.
and as well.
I mean, 4 hours, as you said, it's not much.
Not much.
It's not much. So besides the performance, you utilizing your vocals when you're communicating with your team, you're utilizing your vocals if there's any interviews while you're on tour, you
Right.
know. So that can become like quite hectic. But you seem to be doing it well. So
Yeah.
it's
You know, over,
working for you.
you learn, you learn over the years of what tricks, what works for you, what works for your body, what works for your team. And once you learn that, you just implement things that are successful habits for you and for your crew, and you put those in place, and then good things just happen. So that's one of the things that the last several years I've been doing. Make sure I get my because once upon a time, I slept very rarely. We would go 3, 4 days, no sleep, zero sleep. So now
Yeah.
I have to make sure. But when you do that, the voice is very tired. Your body's tired. You're beat up. So when you get the 4 hours sleep a day, you can do a lot. You can just keep going and keep going and keep going.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. So Walk Tall, is it part of the 6 albums already out, or is it the seventh album?
It's a six. This is my sixth album.
It's the sixth.
Yes.
And all your albums have done extremely well. I mean, top charting tracks.
Yes.
from day one.
Yes. I feel blessed to have the album do well. Excuse me, the fan base to really support. Yeah, so like you said, they've done well from right out the gate. So I'm fortunate. I feel blessed. I give thanks every day for it.
And do any of these albums belong to the record labels that you were signed to, or at the time of leaving, you got back those rights? That was yours.
Yeah, so none of these albums belong to an outside entity. They're all in house. They're all under the Mighty Mystic umbrella. We made it a point to kind of own our masters, own what we do, so we don't have to go into that process of dealing with a big company, because most of the time you can't even fight. You can't with them. They're so powerful. So I prefer to keep everything under the company umbrella type here.
I mean, we look at how hard Taylor so fought for her masters.
Yes,
yes. That's the reference.
She has big money, big bucks to fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's great that. Yeah, it's great that you never have any legal disputes with the labels. That you decided to leave, and everyone just decided to call it quits. In good faith.
Right,
which is good. Yeah, not end up in this legal dispute that's just going to continue for years and years and years and years just to get your masters back.
Yeah, ownership. So I would encourage any artist out there to own your music. Own your music. Set it up in a way that it belongs to your network. It stays, and you create it, you wrote it, you produce it, keep it in house. That's the best way to go. I mean, always there's going to be those instances where you have to work with labels, big labels. In those situations, you find a steady medium. You find a point that is okay for you, that's okay for you, and that you both feel comfortable. Yes, that is there. So find that piece, that negotiation, I would call it. But if you can, better to own. Yes.
In the independent era that we're living in now, you can do that.
For sure.
You can own it all. In South Africa, one of the battles that I'm still fighting with artists, is that because of the lack of resources, available, especially if you're coming from the lower class communities within South Africa, it's like they still chasing that 360 record deal. And labels, the big labels, are not looking for artists any longer. They keep into the artists they already have. They know how the industry is evolving. So if you do get signed, you have to really, really stand out. And these days, your CV is how many followers do I have on Facebook? How many followers do I have on Instagram? How many followers do I have on TikTok? How many views am I getting, per post each and every single day? That's what they're looking at,
Right.
Another sad moment, because they're not looking at the quality of the music or your message. They're looking at how much following you actually have, because we have to monetize that following. So you can have over 100K, right, in followers. Your music doesn't have to be that great, but hey, you're going to sell it anyway, because you have such a huge following.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, what I would say is, I learned earlier on from being signed to labels that all a label is a bank. Labels are just banks. Label, bank. You're on the same thing here. Labels, bank. Same stratosphere. That's all a label is a bank. Independent artists out there, right? Best way to operate, if you're going to operate like what labels do. They're just banks. All the labels do is they've built departments. They've got a marketing department. They've got a radio department. They've got a publicist department. They've got a street team department. All these departments, publicists, all these departments. So if you, the independent artist, have that thought, you can just go and hire all those people that do that for a living. Bring those people into your camp, into your network. Get a manager, get an agent, get a publicist, get so-and-so, and build your own independent network where you don't need a label. You don't need a 360 deal. You have your own organization that you can move and operate like a label independently, because there's so many avenues. There's so many ways to be successful. You were just saying the digital era, you have thousands of fans. You can cultivate that fan base on social media and really translate that into dollars, into a career, if you know what you're doing, if you operate in it like a business.
Yeah. Also a new model that the big guys are actually building now, which is something I thought about, like 2 years ago already, because, I could see, where the industry is going. And now I see that model actually getting adopted within the labels is they're investing in independent artists and independent labels, and then they will hire now independent label sales manager to actually manage these labels.
Yeah.
So like I just had that thought, like 2 years ago, and now I see it actually happening. And the latest position was a label, I can't remember the name, but they're based in Paris, and they're actually looking for independent sales manager because they got all these independent acts that want to own their masters. So they invest in the independent acts or independent labels, and now they just hire, like as you said, department. So this department now is going to manage our independent investments.
Right.
That's the model now. That's they adapting. Yeah. They adapting to how the industry is changing.
Yeah. So that just shows you that there's several ways nowadays that you can still climb the mountaintop. Several ways. And these labels have to be creative to be able to make, X amount of finance dollars. So we as independent artists have to find creative ways to do so. And kind of what we were saying earlier is, in my opinion, the touring is a big lane. You can add all kind of stuff to the touring avenue, but touring is, in my opinion, huge.
The best. Yeah.
I can't overstate it anymore. Travel.
That's it. Thank you so much. Okay,
Yes,
so before we run out of time, and then these people who send me these questions give me a hard time, I'm going to go through it. You can briefly answer it. I mean, legacy and root, we've already touched on that. Musical journey, we have already touched on that. Okay, so you shared stages with icons like Shaggy, Sean Paul, and the Marleys. When you step on stage, what's the message you want to deliver to every person?
I just want people to be able to feel empowered through music. Music, particularly the reggae music, it's the people's music. It's always been an avenue to tell the people what's going on in the world, whether it's a political story that's happening, a social story that's happening, whatever it might be. Reggae has always been the avenue to tell the story, to enlighten. It's like the news. Reggae is like news for the world. So I'm no different. I like to go out there and tell people what's going on through music, tell them the struggles that I'm going through. I like to use myself as an example, the struggles I'm going through, because if I'm going through a certain struggle, chances are you're going through that struggle, or you're going through that struggle. We're all related humans that's going through the same exact thing. So I like to put that in my music and deliver it so the audience can say, wow, he's speaking the truth. That's happened to me, or I've seen this happen. And it sits with you a certain type of way, and it helps you to get through what you're going through. So that's kind of what I like to do. I like to deliver it, but I like to deliver my stuff with energy, high energy, where you don't feel more upbeat, you're uplifted, you're dancing, you're grooving, and you go home after the show and you leave with some substance. You leave with substance.
Yeah. And also, it pushes out a message that you're not on the sidelines with the struggle that I'm going through. You're going through this with me.
Exactly. And to further that, what I've been seeing a lot lately is there's so much like depression. There's like a global depression in society right now. Everybody's sad, anxiety. There's a lot of that happen in society. So I've been noticing that more and more. So I'm putting more of those self-help elements into the songs, into the music, so people can say, wow, I really feel this. This is something I'm going through, and it speaks to me, and it's helping me. So I'm trying to do that more and more. Be conscious of the struggles that people are going through.
Yeah. Thank you. This next question links up to what you just said, but I'm going to mention it anyway. Reggae has always been a voice for the people. In today's world, where there's still injustice, war, and division, what do you feel reggae's role is now?
I think reggae's goal is still the same goal. It's still the goal to tell people the news, what's going on, to speak to them in a way that they are hearing. But do it in a way, present it in a way where you don't feel overburdened. Because I think once upon a time, reggae as a whole, all the reggae artists was almost doing music, reggae preach, too preachy. It was too preachy. It became too preachy for the audience, too much. Now I think reggae has to mold itself differently. It has to come a more gentle, a more subtle way of telling the message, more subtle way, more digestible way that it can go in, it could feed your system without being preachy. We don't, preachy's not working anymore. Nobody wants to be preached to. Nobody's too much going on. Too much going on in society, but you can still speak to people in a way. You can still deliver that message, deliver that theme in a more gentle, subtle way where it's digestible and it feeds the soul and it helps to uplift. So I think reggae is still the same path. Easy though, easy with it.
A strong message to up-and-coming reggae artists, right there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right there. Okay, the next one, we've chatted about this. Being the brother of Prime Minister, do you ever feel the political world locking in on your creative one? How do you stay grounded and true to your message while carrying such a powerful name?
Good question. Yes, I mean it happens. I hear those chatter knocking at the door all the time. But I think what we are talking about earlier is conviction. When you stand on conviction, when you believe in yourself and what you're doing, those things just come in and come out. I don't let it distract me. I don't let it bring me down. I hear it. Obviously, I hear it. I see it, but I don't let it soak. If you let the negative things soak in on you, you know what it does? It sits on you. These things sit and they wear you down. So the moment those things come, what I do is I expel it. I get rid of it. I just get rid of all of it, and I stay focused. I stay grounded. And I try to put positivity out and just throw out the negative chatter and just keep it moving. Simple.
Yeah, it's an in and out, Remain present. Be present.
Yes. Don't let it sit. Don't let it sit on you. Don't let it sit in your mind, your soul, your heart. Just expel it.
Take up unnecessary space.
No, you don't need it. You don't need it. You won't sleep. You'll be on your mind all day. You know what? I don't want to sleep.
Yeah. Okay. Next one. Reggae and spirituality go hand in hand. What grounds you spiritually, and how does that energy flow into your songwriting and performances?
Good question. My household, my household has been a Bible household. From I was a kid, my mother, my father read the Bible to us. We read the Bible. We stay grounded by the Bible. And as I've gotten older, it's taken on a different life to me. Spirituality has taken on a whole different life to me. But at the end of the day, I'm a spiritual being. I speak the spiritual language. I feel spirituality very deep in my soul, and I feel related to everybody. I just feel that we're all the same people. Just we look different, but we're the same. We're not different. We're the same people. We're the same people. So I keep a spiritual hat on at all times. That is the foundation of which I stand on. Other things are going on, but the spiritual element to me has always been the element. I'm the kind of guy that goes out, I sit down under a tree and in my mind, I'll talk to the tree. I talk to my environment. I soak it all up because I think nowadays we humans are losing our spiritual connection to the world, to things around us. We think as humans that we are better, we're up here than everything else. We're not. We're just as is as everything else. We're just like the tree behind the plant. We're just like that. We're like everything else. We have to exist within the sphere with everything else around us cohesively, spiritually. So that's what I do. And I don't get too high or too low in any situations.
It's like the energy automatically flows.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
you just
Yeah.
allow it to flow
You
into your
allow it to
songwriting.
flow. Yes. You just open up and allow yourself to be a part of everything else that exists. We're no different than the dirt, than the ocean, than the tree. We're the same. We're all this. We're all connected.
Yeah, yeah,
We're all connected.
100%.
I'll give you a story. Here's a joke, right? Here's a joke. Not a joke, but a story. If you go on TV, if somebody goes on TV and you tell the population, everybody, we're getting sick. Everybody, you're sick. This person's sick. They're sick. Be careful of this. Be careful of that. You know what happens? You get sick.
Yeah,
You get sick
yeah,
because there's a symbiosis connection between everything around us. We're connected. You don't have to be rubbing elbows with the next person to necessarily get sick. It's here. It's here. It's here. It's here.
no, I agree. I agree.
People, rewind it and listen to what I just said. Rewind that. There's a little key in your cue. There's a key.
And keep playing this interview over and over and over. There's so much value here. You know, thank you.
Yes,
There's so much value here. Wow. Okay. Your music has touched fans all over the world, from Jamaica to the US and beyond. How do international audiences connect differently to reggae's message of love and unity?
Good question. I think the biggest thing is we'll use the US an example. US, the reggae is a newer situation here. It is a newer situation with reggae in the US, where I think on the global front, reggae has been there for so long. It's like interconnected, woven into society a lot better than it specifically has been woven into the American society per se. I think there's a deeper connection everywhere else. People outside of the US really get it. They really get the message. They really understand what is the depths of it versus maybe the US. So I think I would say that's it. This could be a rabbit hole question. We can kind of maybe open up another podcast for that specific question.
Yeah.
So that's where I would say the difference is in that sphere.
And when I look at these questions, man, they're all rabbit hole questions. You know,
we need 7 hours to answer these questions.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, all you can do is just briefly answer it. You know,
Yes,
that's
yes.
all we can really do. When you're not on stage or in the studio, what keeps you balanced as a person, especially when the world expects you to be mighty all the time?
Family, my family, my wife, my 3 kids. Now I got 2 grandkids. I'm young.
Nice. Congrats.
Thank you. They're only 2 months old. So yes, family keeps me very grounded. You know, you go on the road and you live a certain lifestyle, but when you come home, you got to cook dinner. You got water. You know, the sink is leaking. You got to fix the leaky sink. Those things keep you grounded. It's simple. You do it. You go through it. I go through it. Miss Susie goes through it. Uncle Bob goes through it. Tom down the street. We all go through it. We're just people. I'm no different. I go through it too. I painted the kitchen yesterday.
Yeah.
You still come home, you get grounded that way, you know?
Exactly. You know, I feel you with what you're saying, man, because you know what I battle with the most, especially like in my local community, you know, it's quite big, but like, you know, home to me.
Yeah.
And for example, I will go to the gym, right? And I will go to the gym and I will walk into the gym, but I don't know who to be. You know,
Mhm.
should I be Kino, the artist, Kino, the podcaster, or should I just be Kino, the human? Because I am just human,
That
you
is
know?
it.
And what I've come to learn is that I'm just going to be human and I don't care who sees me, what they think, what they say. You know, I'll be in the gym and my mother will call me. And here I am in the gym having a family conversation with a whole lot of drama. You know, but I'm there in the gym, but I just don't care anymore. If anybody's listening to my conversation with my mother and my family drama, yeah, I'm human. You know,
The best, I always tell people, the best person to be is yourself. You have the best chance of succeeding if you just be you. You don't be a copy of anybody else. Just be you. And anybody listening out there, always just be you. There's only one of you. The two people who came together to make you, they made you. There was people before them who made your people. Then there was people before them who made those people, and on and on and on and on and on. Millions of people came together to make you. It's only one you. Just be you and always be you. The good and the bad and the ugly and the in between, always be you. You have the best chance of being successful. You just be you.
Yeah, just be you, you know. And for independent artists out there, or any artists out there, you know, you don't need to fake it if you're in a public space.
Right.
You know, once again,
Oh,
as you just said, be
yeah.
you.
Yeah. People like
You just
I make serious music, you know, I make serious music, deep spiritual music, but I like jokes. I'm a funny guy. I like I like humor. I like to laugh. I like to be entertained like that. I'm kind of
yeah,
goofy, you know, I'm kind of goofy, and that's me. That's original to me. And I'm not going to change me being kind of silly, goofy guy. That's just me, you know. On top of everything else, I like a good fun joke in my life.
yeah. Thank you so much for that.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, once again, so much value. Okay, we're nearly there. You've had 6 albums hit Billboard Top 100 Reggae chart. That's incredible. What's next for Mighty Mystic? Any upcoming collaborations or projects that you're excited about?
Actually, I am working on a new album right now. We've recorded 6 songs so far. And this album, I think I'm only going to do about 10 songs. I'm going to cut it down. I normally do 13, 14, 15. I'm going to make a smaller album, but a more impactful album. And we're aiming for next summer release. So we're working on the album. We're booking we're doing a global tour. So we're working on putting together a big global tour right now for this specific albums. And my next step is the big thing I'm trying to work on right now is I want to go into film. I want to go into do movies. So you'll see me down the line doing little small roles in little movies. That's where I want to go because I feel like there's not much representation as reggae artists in the film industry. There's not much at all, you know. Hip hop has it, rap has it, pop. There's all these, you know, celebrities from that specific genre in Hollywood acting. I don't see there's like nobody in the reggae world. So I'm gonna give it a shot. That's on my list of things to do. I want to get into the acting.
What have you got to lose, right? You
Yeah.
know, that's what you want to do. That's the goal. Go for it.
Yes. Climb the mountain. Just climb it. Bumps and
Yeah.
bruises, but just keep climbing. Keep climbing. Find ways. Find ways. Keep climbing.
Yeah. Consistency pays off.
Yes.
You know, consistency pays off. Okay, second to last one. If you could speak directly to young artists, especially those growing up in politically charged or challenging environments, what wisdom would you share about staying true to their voice?
That's a great. Read that again for me, please. I'd love to hear it again.
If you could speak directly to young artists, especially those growing up in politically charged or challenging environments, which is bulk of countries, you know, around the world, what wisdom would you share about staying true to their voice?
Good question. I would say first, have an understanding of who you are. All right. Have an understanding of who you are so that when you decide to go out into society with whatever you're doing, you don't get twisted. You don't get bent. Somebody doesn't take advantage of who you because you don't know who you are. Know who you are. That's very important in any business, especially in the music entertainment business. Know who you are. Know what you believe in. Know what you're willing to do and willing not to do. When you understand those things, anything is possible. Anything is possible. So first, know yourself, right? Second, organize. Organize whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is you want to be, whatever you want to present to society. Organize it. We were talking about it earlier about putting a team together. Organize it. Make good music, whatever it is. Organize it. Get a good team around you. Then package it up and then present it to the world. They will love you for it because it's original to you, because it's you. You know what you want to do, who you are, and you have it packaged right with a good team. Then you present it to society, and then you do all the things. You just work, work, work to bring that to the top of the mountain.
Nice. Self-awareness.
Yes.
Critically important. Self-awareness. How do you expect people to know who you are if you don't know who you are, right?
Yes, that is it. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. This reminds me of a story once upon a time ago. And I mean, it wasn't the artist's fault, they just didn't understand. So one of the exercises I do with artists is I give them about 10 questions, and it's all around self-awareness of who are you? And this artist decides to write under the first question of who are you, his name and surname, right? Now, I can laugh about it now. But at the time, I was like, this is how critical this question actually is. People do not know who they are.
Right.
They don't know what they stand for, their belief system, their values, their principles. They don't know.
They don't know. That's ultimately that's one of the key things that people forget. They forget to understand it. They forget to do that. It's very important to know yourself and what you are, and what brand, and what you want to put out to society. Know yourself. It's like if you're going to college, like it's great to know what you want to major in. Yes, there's a period where you don't know what you want to major in to go in the job world, but you have more success in life when you actually know what it is you want to go to school to do. A doctor, a lawyer, a plumber, whatever it is. Know it, and do all the things to make it successful.
100%, 100%. Okay, the last one. I actually wanted to ask this at the start of the show, but
Okay.
it's popping up in the questions. Is what's the story behind the name, alias, stage name, Mighty Mystic?
Okay. Brilliant question. All right. So growing up, my dad, Morris, he was the local mystic of our community of Goshen. People would go to my dad and ask him all kind of questions. He was like a seer. He could see things, he feel things, a very deep spiritual guy. I'm from a farming area, like the bush. So my dad was like the local mystic of the area, a very spiritual guy. He would help people, show them the path, things like that. When I relocated from Jamaica to Boston, I moved to an area known as the Mystics. Right beside it as a river known as the Mystic River. There's a movie, actually. Clint Eastwood directed a movie called Mystic River. You guys want to know more about me or where I grew up in the US here in Boston? Look up Mystic River. I grew up right beside the Mystic River. So anyways, my dad was mystic. I moved to an area known as Mystic. I started to do music that was mystical. So it was just a natural fit. All those things come together and my name was Mystic. I added the Mighty because earlier on in my life, I was kind of rambunctious. A little, rambunctious. So it's, that type of thing. So I added the Mighty to it. A strong mystic.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that history.
Yes.
That sums up the question that was sent to me. I just to conclude with one more. Reggae music is revolutionary. From Bob Marley till date, it's revolutionary. When you are out in public, your music can actually, influence millions of people around the world. It can influence culture, influence society. Do you ever fear for your life and your message, by pushing out your message, out there?
There's times where that crossed my mind several times. But kind of it's kind of the theme of what we've been talking about this interview is I just let it in and let it out. I'm so focused. I'm so focused on climbing the mountain. I understand that there's going to be things like that's going to happen, especially being, the kind of music I'm doing, being a brother to a political figure. So those things are kind of come with the job, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that. My family knows that I'm okay with going at any time. If I got to go at any time, I'm okay with going at any time. So yeah, it doesn't fear me. It doesn't scare me.
Yeah, that's nice. Thanks for being so brave. I mean, so many artists, want to speak their truth, because they're not comfortable or happy with what's going on in their country, in their community, but they're so afraid,
Right.
they're so afraid. I mean, this links back to one of the questions, that you answered. But you just have to follow your instincts, That's my thoughts on it. Follow your instincts and do what you feel is right.
Exactly. Speak your truth. Speak the truth always, Speak the truth.
Yeah.
Speak the truth.
Because you're not only going to, speak the truth, but you're also going to be a voice for thousands, millions of people who don't
Right.
have the courage and strength to do so. Once again, your responsibility as a creative in this world.
Right.
That's your calling. If you can hear it and you can feel it, that's God talking to you. That's your ancestors talking to you. That's the universe talking to you.
Right.
So go out there and do it knowing that you are going to be protected.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is it. You did. That's it. Because the universe listens, it creates, it provides. I'll give you a story off of that. So a couple of years ago, we're driving in tour bus. We're traveling to a show, nighttime. Boom, flat tire. We're like 2 hours away from the venue. We have a flat tire. We don't have a spare tire to fix the car. At that moment, we have two decisions. Decision number one, call, cancel the show, say we can't make it. That. Decision number two, find a way to get it done, right? Find a way to get it done, to fix it, find a way, whatever it is, and make the show. The moment you decide positivity, the moment you put the positive energy out, is the moment good start happening. So half the band was saying, hey man, let's call and cancel the show. And I'm like, no, it's going to work out. It's going to work out. Everything's going to be good. Everything. You know what happened? Within moments of the flat tire, we're in the middle of nowhere, dark, black, dark, nighttime. The moment we put that out, a car pulls up behind us. The guy pulls up. He's like, you need some help? We're like, yeah, man, we need this, that, the other. The pickup truck, he had the very tire we need in his pickup truck. This man had the tire we needed in his pickup truck. He gave us the tire. He put the tire on the van, and we got to the show. On time, we performed. Because we put the positive energy out. You put the positive energy out. When you put positive energy out, good, positive comes right back to you. If we decided to think negatively, boo-hoo, cry, whoa, blah, 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 only negative comes that way. When you think negatively, negative comes.
Yeah.
So the trick is, the art is anytime negative comes your way, get rid of it. Throw it out as quick as you can. And you only absorb positive, and you let positive go out, because it just cycles back. Good things come. When you think and you operate good, is when it comes. The heavens protect you. It opens up and sends help. That's how it works. But us in this society we're in right now, global society, we are little by little losing these spiritual connection that we have with society. We're losing it. We have to remember that we're spiritual beings, that everything's connected. Like that plant behind, we're connected with everything. Stay connected, stay spiritual, keep your mind open, stay enlightened, and good things will come.
Nice. Kevin, Mighty Mystic, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Wow. Whole lot of dopeness, whole lot of value,
Yes.
dropped in one show. Like, really, thank you so much. So
My
I know
pleasure.
you said that, you working currently on the next album, you just finished touring. But to conclude 2025, are you going to be around? Where can people check you out? What's next for, the remainder of this year? What's on the agenda?
Yeah, so I'm going to go to Jamaica, do some shows there in the coming weeks. Then we have a small tour in the island of Anguilla. Like I was saying earlier, we're working on an album. And then the top of 2026, we're going to start a very extensive tour. We're going to try to do maybe 200 shows in 2026 and do a lot of different things. I want to do the film stuff, the movie stuff that we spoke about. And it's a lot more of traveling. So 2026, we're going to up up everything up and try to be busy more in the new year than we did this past year. So yes, I'm on social media. Website is Mighty Mystic, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all the platforms, TikTok, it's Mighty Mystic. I check it. There's no robot, not the manager, it's me. I check it, send me a message, talk to me. I message back. I want to be connected. So reach out. Any questions people have out there, hit me up. I'm there. I want to know what's going on. All right. Everything is Mighty Mystic.
And sorry, I'm about to say, and you listeners can find you on every single streaming platform there is out there.
Yes.
And you mentioned like your merchandise also. So you got merchandise that people can find on your website,
Merchandise is everywhere. Yeah, merchandise is everywhere. Everything is run. Check us out, people.
And you do international with
Yes.
merchandise.
Yes, everything.
Okay, nice. Man, Kevin, thank you so much. It's been
My pleasure. My
such
pleasure.
a humble conversation, such a humble conversation.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you for being who you are and your
Yes,
contribution, not only to the musical scene, creative scene, but just humanity. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We won't change.
Thank you.
Much love to you and to everybody.
Keep
out
doing
there
what
listening.
you do, and I hope you get to chat again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Will do.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. Sorry I missed you. We sort of like clashed with each other there.
Oh yeah, no, I was saying much love to you. Much love to everyone out there listening and watching. Blessings always. Let's all stay together. We're one people, all right? No matter what's going on in the world, they would like to divide us. Stay united, not divided. We're strongest when we're together. We're strongest when we're together. So let's stay together, all right? Don't let them trick you and divide you.
Thank you. Yeah, love right back, man. Love right back, brother. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day, man.
You too.
Okay, bye.